Okay, uh, David, this is LCE Graphics. This is a system you purchased, and we're dismantling it and getting it ready for shipping. All right, when you put it back together, you've got this bracket right here, the one on the right with the orange knob, and that one on the left. Just connect the two together. Now these brackets are going to be taken off. We can't ship them with them on there, and the bolts that go inside those brackets, we can't ship them with them either because they have a tendency to fall out. And if you leave them in, they'll vibrate down and get caught. It's just a big problem, so we have to take them out and we ship it, okay? Now, when you get the machine, you have to put all this back together, okay? This is your lift unit. This piece right here goes right in between the collator and the booklet maker. This plate bolts right here where my foot is, and those two screws. Now we try to put all the screws back where they go, so that way you can just put them back in. The screws will be there. We can't always do it. It just depends on what it is. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But when we can, you'll find the screws where they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to go. If not, you'll get extra screws with the unit. All right, now this is your lift unit. This cradle you see right here, that's what the back side of the lift unit goes on. You have to look at pictures that we sent you to the machine. It helps you to see where things go. But you see these little threaded holes right here, one here and one over there. All right, so that's where this flange, right here on the back of the lift unit, these two flanges go there. There's a screw that goes in there, okay? Don't cross thread, don't force, don't fuss. All the screws, keep in mind, Duplo uses soft screws. They're not super hard, okay? So, you can cross thread them too easily. So just try to, if you need to, have a little bit of oil around or a little spray can, and just spray the hole. It kind of helps make the screw go in easier. Right here, you see that hole? Okay, well that goes right here on the bracket, okay? And then you bolt that in. All right. Now, these are marked Tower A, which is the first tower, Tower B, which is the second tower, and Tower C, which is the third, okay? The stacker back here, it goes bolted on in the back. There are two thumb screws that come with it, and you bolt it onto the back, and that plug, this plug right here, the silver one I'm holding in my hand, goes plugged right there, okay? Not this one. As you can see, that's a male plug. That's for something else. The female plug goes plugged right here, okay? Now, remember one thing. All these plug-in machines are plugged in before you turn the power on. You don't ever have the power on. Again, you never, ever, ever have the power on, okay? When you're plugging or unplugging anything on a Duplo, okay, it's just asking for it. So, keep that in mind. Now the switches, the power switches on the machine are set where they need to be, okay? So you don't have to worry about turning them on, turning them off. We left them exactly how they were. So when you get the machine and hook everything up, this switch right here on Tower A should turn the whole system on. And if it doesn't, we can support you over the phone. We have to set up an appointment to do that, okay? And so we can walk you through any issues or problems you might have. Now here you see your transfer conveyor. You see where it goes in? Got a screw right there, the same as your lift unit. Each unit gets, the second unit, B unit, and C gets a transfer conveyor, all right? All right, now you start out, how do you start? Okay, first of all, you've got steel discs that go underneath the screws. The first thing you have to do, in order to level the machine, is you have to put your disc down there. Now, the bolts that are underneath there, we ran them up as far as we could, all right? But you'll notice at the bottom, it has two nuts locked in together. That allows you to lower them down underneath, okay? Or you can pull that bottom cover off each tower and pull the side cover off. You're gonna have to do that anyway. The side cover needs to be pulled off so you can plug in all the connectors, okay? So I would start off with Tower A, remove this non-op cover, and remove this bottom side op cover, okay? Now, you got Tower A is the first tower you set up. You put a level here on this side, like that, adjust it level, and then this side to the front and adjust it this way. So you want the tower this way left and right, and op to non-op side this way. So use this cover right here to square your machine on all the bins, all right? The first bin, you want to make sure you measure from the wall the distance you're going to want for the entire system, and all the towers need to be the same distance away. You can't have B tower half an inch closer to the wall than A, because then your sets won't come out right. You have to adjust them anyway, okay? So bottom line, A tower, put it in place. Now, what you want to do when you're lifting these towers, you want the wheels a 1/4 inch off the floor. What I do is I take a piece of chipboard and fold it 4 times. So you got 4 thicknesses of chipboard. Make sure that slides underneath the wheels when the machine is lifted up. That way you know the machine is supported by your discs, and you want them off the wheels. You don't want to leave them on the wheels, all right? Okay, so once you do that on the first tower, then you can level from there. But just use the chipboard. You'd be amazed, unless your floor is like way off. Use the chipboard onto the wheels, get them all set the same with 4 folds of chipboard, and then you can start checking the level. Each tower needs to be leveled exactly the same way, okay? All right, now, once you get tower A set up, you line up tower B. Now, what I do when I install them is I use a chalk line. I don't know if you know what a chalk line is, but in construction, you can, use it and you slap the string and it makes a chalk line. Either do that or draw a line, but chalk line works so much better. Determine where the outside edge of your machine, where you want it, okay? And in other words, if you want it, like here, we've got it set 36 inches from the wall. I believe that's a minimum, but if you don't have that much space, or if it's out in the open, you decide. So you measure from a central point to the outside of the frame here, and then you make a chalk line from one end to the other so that's all straight. And then you can line everything up more easily. All right, so then as you put these together, you've got what's called blocks that lock these in. They're in the boxes. They get inserted between the towers, all right? And the screws tighten up down there, put them in, okay? So the screws come with it. They lock in. You see that little stud right there? That one right there, they lock in there, and then you've got bolts on the outside. Now, one of those bolts holds your steps in. If you want to use the steps from your old tower, you can, or you can use the steps that I recommended. All right. Now, you got all 3 set up, all hooked up together. The blocks are connected. Now, the next thing you do is put your lift unit in. That's this piece right here. Okay? Now, you put your lift unit in, bolt it to the machine. Then you take your tray that goes in here, which is that one right there. That's your catch tray for your eject station. You put it on, and then the next thing you do is you get your lift unit, cap conveyor, which is this one. You lift it and put it in place. All right? Now, these other items you'll find on a pallet separate from the machine. Then when you put that in, then you hook that plate and put that plate on the booklet maker. All right? That plate will be in a box. And you connect it to the lift unit with the screws provided. All right? Now you got that in line, and remember, it's important to have the booklet maker in line with the collator, okay? So you don't want the booklet maker like a half an inch off from one end to the other. It's got to be perfectly straight. The best way to do that is to tie what I do. I take this screw right here, or this one, and I get a string and put it behind that screw and run it around that cover. Either that or this one. I think it's this one down here. I think that one's the right. No, that was too high. This one, the bottom one. You take a string, tie it there, go all the way down to the end to the trimmer, and then you can line everything up once you get everything connected. If you put the screws in where they go, you see the slots on that allows you to line it up a little bit better. Okay. All right. Now you've got this tray down here at the bottom, the one with the orange knob. That'll be in a box, and this tray here. So you take those 2 off, put them on rather, and then you connect it with the knob that has the orange tip on it. That connects the trimmer to the booklet maker. Now, as far as the booklet maker is concerned, you want it off the wheels about the same amount as your collator, okay? And then you can level it, a level here on top and a level here on the side, okay? And keep it, this isn't super precision, but just try to get the bubble in the middle, okay? And then once you do that, then you'll have it set on both ends, okay? You can't have one side level and the other side not. So you want to make sure that your machine's level this way, and from operator to non-operator side. Same thing with the trimmer. When you put it in place, you need to get it up off the wheels. This is after you connect it all together. All right, but don't tighten the nuts. Just put it all together and then lift it up. And after you get all that done, then you get all this what's called tramming. It's to make sure that the booklet maker is in alignment with the collator all the way back, okay? And so then, you don't tighten any of these screws. Now you just put the screws with elongated slots. You don't want to tighten them. Just put them in. The same thing goes here for this plate. All right. Now, once you get all that done, then you need to connect the electric cords. Okay. I'm not going to tell you on the video how to do that. The cords are marked. All right. I'm going to send you a copy of the installation manual. It tells you which cords go where. On this machine, you have ports. You see right there, I wrote there D1, 2, DBM, DBM2, DBM1. There's a connector that comes from the collator that plugs in here. And then this one goes back to the trimmer. On the trimmer, you have those same connections here, as you can see, right there, all right? So it tells you where to connect them. And I've got it marked on the side with Sharpie. But again, any questions, give us a call. Do not turn the power on until we confirm that you've got all these connections where they're supposed to be. Right here are 2 connections for the booklet maker. This one goes to the booklet maker and that one. Then back here on tower A, you've got another connection here that connects to that one. See it? On tower C, there's no connector between tower C and the back tower. All right, so anyway, pretty much covered the basics. There's stuff you have to put together. Like here, and I put B. You look for a plate that's marked B. This is what holds the wire. And you can always refer to the pictures. Have them handy of the machine before we dismantle it, so it gives you an idea where everything goes. The thing that we try to do is minimize the possibility of damage. That's it, okay? And I know it's a hassle, but believe me, it's well worth it because it's a heartbreak when this thing gets damaged, okay? So if you saw the way these machines are shipped to us, sometimes it costs us hundreds of dollars just to overcome the idiocy of people that don't know how to handle these machines. Unfortunately, Duplo doesn't care about this stuff. All comes in boxes. God help you, all right? That's just the way it is. Anyway, so much for that. Thank you very much. Bye now.